What's going on, folks? In today's video, I'm going to be showing y'all a super simple and easy guide on how you can kind of design your own world map. For those of you who are familiar with my channel, you've probably seen like my world building series in which I've shown off my own world map for it. And I've had plenty of people over the months kind of asking me like, hey, how'd you come up with the map? How'd you do the map? And I'm like, bro, I just drew it. And that's all I did, I just drew it. But I've had enough people ask me where I figured I could make like a little tutorial for y'all just to show you how it's done, okay? It's pretty simple, straightforward, nothing complicated. I'm going to be working in Procreate, but if you have any other sort of drawing software like Krita, Photoshop, whatever, it's all kind of the same thing. Just not Microsoft Paint, you know, don't use that, it's trash. But anyways, so first and foremost, all right, if you're going to do a fantasy world map, so what I'm going to be doing with this one, it's going to be kind of like a world map, so it's going to be zoomed out. I'm not going to be drawing all like these little towns and like the forests and all that kind of stuff. This is going to be kind of like a broad scope, pretty zoomed out, where you're just kind of getting like the regions or like a country. You might draw like some like mountains and rivers, but like in terms of any other sort of landscape stuff, we're not doing that. We're just going to keep it super simple, super basic. So first and foremost, what I like to do with like the world map, I want to have like, we're going to start off with the canvas. We're going to make the canvas kind of look like it's an old weathered, worn map type of thing. So start off with like a kind of light manila sort of color, right? And then we're gonna go and we're gonna add some texture to it just to give it kind of that old look. So there's tons of different ways you can go about this. I mean, in Procreate here they have plenty of their own standard brushes that you can kind of use to get different textures, so you can kind of play around with it however you want. But I'll just take the grunge texture brush for now, and again, kind of use like your yellows and orange sort of tinted, but not like super vivid and stuff. But you know, you can kind of play around with it however you want. But I'm just going to start throwing in some kind of textures and things here. So, and also what I like to do with like a world map type of thing is I keep the center of the map usually like a little bit lighter. And then like the corners and stuff, I'll kind of do like a little bit darker. So that's one texture there. And then we can kind of do slightly darker, different color. We can go mess around on a different layer. Just kind of throw in some random colors and stuff. Industrial, let's see what wasteland looks like. And you can even do things like, let's say the world map here. Let's say somebody was drinking some coffee or something, right? You're drinking some coffee, so you're gonna have some splatter stains on it. So new layer here. Kind of just throw in some little flicks and splatters, and then you can even go back with your brush and kind of touch it up a little bit, kind of erase, fade out certain parts of it so it's not so like uniform or anything. And then also what I like to do is if you set stuff to like multiply, it'll pick up the colors underneath as well. But let's load. That's not what I wanted. So, super simple, super basic, right? So that can be our basis for our canvas that we're working with. All right, so next step, we're gonna do the layout of whatever, the region, the continent, whatever it is that you're doing. So, what I like to do with this to start off, snoring over there, dog's snoring, that's gonna be great. I'm just gonna do like a random shape. So this is what I do. Also, set this layer to multiply so that it'll pick up the texture underneath. But we're just gonna do, all right, just block in this part right here, just get messy with it, get loose with it. This part is going to be how we come up with the map, right? So block in like just some basic shape, and then I go in with the eraser tool, and then I kind of start cleaning up and giving it some more form and shape. So let's just go ahead and knock this out. I just kind of, right now I'm just doing like a basic random guide, so I'm not really thinking too much about all the different kind of specifics of layouts and regions and all that kind of stuff. So depending on, you know, if you already have like a set idea in mind of like the shape of whatever you're working on, you know, you can make it more tailored to whatever type of shape you want. But I just come in here, I just kind of lay down random shapes, and like what you can do, like you saw me there, you can kind of cut into it, and then that makes like a little island right around it, right? Like it kind of split off from the rest of the continent. Same thing over here. Just kind of make little islands and stuff, kind of make it interesting. And then I'm also going to add, let's add like a couple smaller ones here around like the coast and stuff. Maybe there can be a small little island in there. Alright, so super simple, right? We have a basic region, shape, island, whatever it is, continent. Another thing you can do, let's say you want to add like some river systems or things, you can always go over here, take your eraser tool, and kind of, you know, put in some random rivers, and it can even kind of lead over to a large lake in the region. You can kind of add some skinnier rivers kind of branching off if you want, like that. Hopefully you can't hear the dog snoring right now. Hopefully that's not picking up on the mic, because she doesn't leave me alone. I cannot do anything on my own without her having to be near me. So, but yeah, and then let's go over here. Let's kind of let me make that river a little thicker, like a little river delta type of thing. And then let's just put like some larger lakes right around there. And maybe in the middle of this lake, maybe there's an island there within this lake. The Great Eye. I don't know, you call it like something random. But let's whoa. All right, so just super simple stuff like that, right? So we already got like a decent layout of what the region will be or whatever. So then after this, so again, set that layer to multiply, and you can kind of make it, you know, however faded or however you want. Then what we'll do on top of that layer is now we're gonna kind of outline it, just kind of trace over the region. So I'm just gonna take a black, and then this part we're just gonna be drawn around the continent. Another thing you can do kind of when you're outlining it is kind of give it like a little bit of like extra kind of shake to your lines. Like this part right here, you don't need to have like a super precise clean line work, because it'll actually make it look better if you kind of have like a trembly hand a little bit, you know. It'll make it look a little bit more like a natural type of flow. So we're just outlining this whole thing. All right, simple enough, right? Boom, we did that. So you got that. Now what you can do is we can add, so like I said, we're not gonna get like super detailed with everything, but let's just say we want to do one thing I like to do is just have like some mountains, some little mountain symbols throughout, just so you can get like at least a decent idea of like what the region is like, right? So mountains, you could do them tons of different ways. I'm gonna take a little bit thinner of a brush than what I used for like the outside line art, for instance. And let's just say this coast right here has I'm gonna put some mountains here. So we're just gonna kind of start off by kind of laying them in like this. And then put some lines down the middle. Just some random little lines starting at the tops of the peak. And then what I'll do is kind of draw these little kind of lines like this, angled. Hey, stop snoring. Jeez, you're messing up my video. All right. So you just do something like that, right? And then what you will do is you can do a layer underneath, set that to multiply, and then just add a little bit of shading to it, just to kind of give it like a little bit of a little bit more form to it. So you'll just shade whatever. You can either shade the right side or the left side, just kind of shade opposite, or just choose one side of that kind of separating line there, and then just kind of have it kind of fade like that, right? So now you have basic, easy little mountain icons, right? So you do something like that. Also, since we're not going to be doing like drawing a little forest and a little towns and like putting symbols like that, what you can do to kind of show like different biomes and stuff within the region, what you can do is you could take this that color here, instead of it just being one regular plain color, you can instead actually, let me just duplicate that just in case. I'm gonna hide that layer just so I have it. But what you can do is, like, let's say down here to the south, it's gonna be like a lot more. There's gonna be more forests and grasslands and stuff like that. And then maybe up here to like the north, to one side it might be like a desert, or one region might be cold or whatever. So what you can do, instead of kind of this color, just to kind of show that maybe this region down here is like a grassland type of thing, you can instead fill it like that, and then just to kind of give the impression of there being like a change in maybe what the region is like, right? So actually, let me just start off by turning the whole thing I'm going to turn the whole thing green to start. And then let's kind of lay out where some of the grasslands or stuff like that will be. So we're just kind of put that in there. And then let's say there's a more arid region or something out here to the west, so we'll take like a more of a brown color. And you can just kind of give the impression that this landscape over here is changing. The region's kind of different. And then let's say we want like a cold, icy region here with these mountains. Take like a very light whitish blue. And remember, because this is set to multiply, it's going to be picking up the texture underneath, but it's also going to be picking up some of that color underneath too. So your color, whatever color you pick here, it's going to be slightly different than what shows up on the map, because it's also going to be taking into account the background, right? That lightish tan kind of color. So you might have to play around with certain things. And maybe this should be like an icy island or something, right? So that's kind of how you can give different impressions of what the biome would be like, right? And then what I also like to do for like the outline segment, something else you can do is if you look at some maps, they'll have like another separate outline, like a white one, which kind of implicates like the coast, where like there's shallow waters and everything, right? So just take a white one, and then I like to make this line art a little bit thinner than like the bolder black outlines there, right? And then just kind of same thing you did, you're just going to kind of go right around the coastal waters and just keep the same distance all the way around it. And then you're going to continue that with every single region or every single island, whatever it is. Now when you get to something like this, you can see that that space right here is already kind of equivalent to the same distance there. So I'm not gonna cut through that line. You're just gonna go right around it like this. So once you get to certain spots like this little island here, I'm just gonna cut around it, because I mean I might be able to like that. Because if let's say you're working with that island, you're not going to want to draw like a line, because now you see it, first of all, it looks weird, but also these two spaces are smaller than the distance that you have between there. So you just wouldn't put a line around there. Hopefully that makes sense to y'all. I'm probably not doing a great job of explaining it, but you just carry around this. And I like doing this. I think it really kind of helps just add like a little bit of extra like realism or just detail to your world map. But again, just like you did with the outlines of the region, you would just continue this all the way around it. That's one of the things about kind of making your own world map. It gets a little tedious, you know. So it's a lot of stuff like this, and you can always make it as kind of detailed or You can even do like a second line if you want. Some maps will have a whole another line like this. So you can even double up on your lines if you want. It just depends on kind of like what look you're going for. So that's up to you. But again, right here, we got to leave that same amount of space. And then come down here. In this area right here, it's got like a little bit of enough room there for me to fill that in right there. But also, let's say if you're if your map's a little bit darker too, then it'll also kind of show up. So maybe if I dull that down or bring the brightness down a little bit, the white will pop out a little bit more like that, so you can get a better look at it. Also, you know what? I want to add a little bit more texture, if I'm being honest. I feel like it's not enough texture for my liking. So I'm gonna do another layer. And just because there wasn't enough texture behind these kind of like on the actual world itself. And I want some of that texture to come through, so. And then let's go back to that grunge. Set that bitty to multiply, and let's go back around the corners again. Add a little bit more. Color to it. Alright, super simple stuff. This is basic. This is easy. This is easy. Anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. I'll outline a little bit more real quick. Just to kind of complete this side at least. Alright, and then, alright, so let's say I'm not going to do the whole world map, alright, because there's no reason to. You get the gist of it, okay? And then what you would do is you can start naming, you know, whatever your regions are. Your font type's kind of up to you. I like to do something that if we're doing like a fantasy thing, then you either want to have it look like it was like written down with like a feathered pen or something. So use maybe something cursive can work. We'll call this the Verdant Strand. And then you can either put it right over it like this to kind of indicate that, or you can either put it to the side and then make like do like a line. That looks terrible. You can do something like that if you want, or like what I did with my map is I would just kind of put the name of whatever it is right over, and then just to kind of make it pop a little bit from the background, I'll take a white soft brush, go underneath that the text, and then I'll just kind of lightly put this brush behind it, just so it's like a little bit more readable from being zoomed out. So see, now when you're kind of further back, it kind of pops a little bit more and doesn't kind of get lost. But yeah, you would just do stuff like this all over. Whoa. then let me get that a little bit closer. So you just kind of do all this fun stuff, you know. Again, go back behind it. Alright, so another thing you can kind of do to make your world map look a little bit better is I always add like some sort of slight like border, just like a little bit of, you know, fanciness to it, you know. So, take your line, make a straight line there like that, and then I'm going to kind of fill in this part with like a random type of shape like this. And then let's do, I don't know, we're just BSing it right now, okay? Duplicate that. Whoops. Duplicate it again. Work smarter, not harder. One more time, duplicate it. Okay. Okay. So then, let's just go ahead and merge that down. And then also I need to add another line to the outside over there. So what I'll do is delete that. Let's go ahead and merge that down. And you can either have your you can have your border on all four sides, or you can just kind of do it as on like top and bottom, left and right, whatever you want. But I need to put one more line down here. Again, this is I'm doing this very sloppy right now, so. And I also want to make that thinner. So we'll thin that border out. And then let's just say we want to lay it on the top. So I'll do that. Duplicate it again. Why is it? Go ahead and merge that down. Duplicate that layer. Take off the drawing guide. And then I'm just gonna kind of fill in that little kind of fill in that border. Colored in a little bit just so it kind of stands out. It's set to multiply, yeah, okay. What are you doing? All right. So just like that, super simple, super easy. Nothing to it really. And you can kind of make it as detailed as you want. Like I said, depending on if it's like something super far out like this, I would keep it kind of limited to the like just having like lakes and rivers and mountains. If you want to do something a little bit closer up, you can always do like your little tree icons and all that kind of stuff too, if you prefer to hand draw all that kind of stuff. But for like a general far out, you know, world map, I usually keep it kind of basic and simple like this. If you're going to do something where it's just like one specific zone or region or country, and then you want to kind of get a little bit more into kind of drawing all your different icons, like something like a then you kind of make it look a little bit more like like the map of like Middle Earth or something, right, where they kind of draw the little symbols for maybe this town over here, over there, or all the trees and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of up to you, but I just want to kind of give you guys just a super basic guide on how I went about kind of making my own world map. So that way, if y'all want to go do something like that, you can do it super easy like this. See, that took no time at all. I don't know how long this was, but super easy, super basic. Give it a shot. See how it goes, you know? But that's going to be it for today's video. Do me a solid if you like the video. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.